So I'm back in Philly and fall is officially in the air. My Giants have looked worse than I could ever imagine, getting beat up on all sides of the ball. Thank God we have the Phillies and playoff baseball starts tonight, and I'll be there with my son Mitchell. We can't wait. Now that it's the fourth quarter, we are closely watching the auction seasons. The big auctions in Geneva are still a month away, but we have our first auction this Friday at Sothebys in Hong Kong. Now, Sothebys is typically the smallest of the big three, but they have a very nice collection of over 200 pieces hitting the auction block. The market over the summer has remained stable, so we'll be looking for signs on how it may fare in the fourth quarter, and this will be our first test of the market since the summer. So I thought it would be interesting to highlight a few key pieces that could give us some indications on the market. Now, one of the downsides of auctions is that they must prepare and price the watches at least 3 to 4 months ahead. For many years, this gave them an advantage as they were locking in prices as they escalated and the estimates were relatively low, and we saw in many cases 100% sell-through rates. I fear some of the estimates that are in the book could be high in today's market, and I expect we'll sell through at a much lower rate. Now, the auction has quite a few Pateks. One of my favorites is the iconic 5970J. Now, this piece has a reasonable estimate of $102,000 to $158,000. I expect this should easily sell and should bring in the mid to upper hundreds all in. We then go into a 5170G and a 5172G, both with very reasonable estimates. Now, the last piece is a very special piece. It's a 5004R, a great complication, has a black dial and a tachometer scale. Now, this is what I consider a very high estimate of $640K to over $1 million. I think this is a reach, but if it sells at this level, it would be a great sign for the rare Patek market. Now, the sale also contains a large number of A. Lange watches. Traditionally, the secondary market for Lange has been less than robust and certainly weaker than some of the other brands that we track regularly. I'm very curious to see how these pieces fare. Now, the market for Lange has strengthened over the past few years, but this is a large number of pieces in a relatively small sale. And to further complicate the sale, I believe a few of the pieces may have been mispriced. Lot 2165 is a honey gold Zeitwerk hour striker, a great piece. This should easily sell within the estimate of $76.5 to $102, should bring over $100K all in. But the issue I have is 2 lots later, they have the same piece in rose gold, priced exactly the same. Now, the honey gold version is a limited edition of 100 pieces. The rose gold is regular production. So I think we could easily see the rose gold piece struggle. The last 2 pieces I'll be watching closely is lot 2285 and 2286. A Lange one with a brown dial, very rare piece of only 10 made, and a rose gold datograph. Both seem to have very strong estimates, and I would not be surprised if they don't hit that level. I'm also tracking one of my favorite Vacherons. It's the Mercator. It's coming up lot 2209. I believe this watch will do very well as classic Vacherons have shown strength recently, and I believe this could easily hit the high estimate. Now, another piece we'll be following closely is lot 2218, the Greubel Forsey GMT Earth. Now, we've spoken a few times on Market Wrap about seeing the weakness in the Greubel market. This is one of the most iconic pieces from the brand, had a retail of over $500K when new, so I think it'll be very interesting to see how strong this piece goes. Now, we all know FP Journe has been one of the darlings of the independent business, and lot 2306 is an early rose gold example of the iconic T with the big screw. Now, this has a high estimate of $640K to $895K, which would make it over $800,000 all in. Now, if it trades at this level, I believe it'll solidify the confidence and really strengthen the brand heading into the fourth quarter. And the last piece we're going to talk about, but certainly not the least, is a Philippe Dufour Simplicity, lot 2237. Now, this is the 37mm variety, my favorite piece. 3 to 4 years ago, these pieces were trading in the $250 to $300 range. A few have transacted in the past year or two between $700,000 and $900,000. If we see a result in that range in this current market, I think it'll be a great sign to see the strength going into the fourth quarter.